Right then, welcome back to the realest podcast on the internet. Raw, honest, and unfiltered. This is episode number 52. I didn't get one up last week, and I apologise, but I might have an explanation. According to ChatGPT, I have adult ADHD. Yes, I might even get the chat up and read through some bits. It weren't what I intended this podcast to be about. Well, I could do both. Yeah, I might just jump straight into that. It's been a thing for a while now where I have pondered it, but I've been thought because I fucking hate labels. I don't like labels. I don't see why. Why can't we all just be people? We're all just humans. We're all just people. Why we got to all be fucking labelled with stuff? I think when it's something a bit more obvious, maybe. Might be nicer. Anyway, it's one of them, innit? As you're getting older, or the more life you live, you notice more patterns and stuff, and then you start to think, like, you're questioning stuff, don't you? Like, why do I feel this way, or why do other people seem that way and I'm not, and stuff like that. By the way, if the lighting don't seem, I mean, it's never been great anyway, let's be honest, but if it seems worse than normal, it's because the face light I normally use just decided to not work today. So I've ordered two new little ones just now at the start of the podcast. So yeah, there's that. Anywho. So yeah, lately I keep catching little clips on TikTok of TikTok accounts that are about ADHD, like an ADHD couple or like a person and whatnot. And I'll listen to it and I'll go, that sounds too familiar. That does, mate. Like that sounds eerily close. But then I'm like, I don't want to be one of those like, oh yeah, that's me too. You know what I mean? So I've always kind of, whenever I've had that kind of feeling when I've watched something like that, I've pushed it to the back of my head. Probably weren't the healthiest thing to do. The one thing that definitely, the biggest thing I have is the whole hyper focus thing. So I'm going to quickly find, right, I mentioned in the last podcast, I'm really enjoying ChatGPT at the minute. I use it for fucking everything. Oh, well, let's have a quick look on my. So I've used it for. So I've just used it before this podcast because I thought I bought Power World, but it was telling me to download Game Pass. Other than that, I talked to it for all my crypto stuff, so I've always got that one at the top. ADHD diagnosis reflection. I've got one about my kids, especially my eldest, about dealing with him. Specs for ovens, affordable X Games travel, because we're looking at going to the X Games. Police presence in Birmingham, because we went to Birmingham the other week, and there was like old Bill everywhere. I'm like, why? Basically, I don't Google shit anymore. I ChatGPT it. So anyway, let's jump into this. It's not a big one. I didn't get too deep with it, so I asked it. I said, I've been wondering for a while if I've got ADHD, but I've always dismissed wanting to confirm it or get a diagnosis, as I just see it as a label. I don't see any benefit to it, as I can't see how it would help if this is just how I am. I love it. That's a really valid and thoughtful take, Ryan. You're not alone. Lots of people wrestle with the same question, especially as awareness of ADHD grows in adults. And it's like, here's a breakdown to help you think through without pressure. I ain't going to read it because I read this response to my wife, and before I could finish the last paragraph, I just broke down crying. Like it. I think I know why now, but yeah, it just floored me, which felt like a big indicator as well. So I'm going to skip past that because I don't want 10 minutes of the podcast to be fucking blubbering. Anyway, the last bit is like, do you want me to run a checklist of traits that might align with ADHD? For curiosity's sake, no pressure, no judgment. I love fucking ChatGPT. It's just like the politest person ever, and like the most helpful friend. So then it's just give me like part 1, attention and focus, and a bunch of bullet points. Part 2, restlessness and impulsivity, a load of bullet points. Part 3, executive function and daily life. Part 4, emotional and social. And then it's like, if you tick 10 boxes or if you tick 5 to 10 boxes, blah, blah. So what I did was because some of them didn't sound like me at all, where it's like, you know, you're often like being called lazy and blah. I'm like, I've never been called lazy. I'm the fucking opposite, if anything. No. So I went through those bullet points it gave me, copied and pasted them into like my message bit to reply. But then what I've done is I put a little blurb with each one that I'd copied and pasted as to why I thought that might apply to me. So I've said that. So bullet point 1, often forget appointments, plans, or what I was just about to do. And I'm like, I'm terrible with birthdays of any kind or I'm terrible with birthdays or any kind of future planned day. I rely on my wife for all of that, which I do. I don't remember shit. I don't do birthdays or nothing. My wife has to tell me fucking everything when it comes to if it's someone's birthday or the kids' birthdays. I've literally got a reminder on my phone that comes up every day of the year saying Mona birthday stuff. Like, I never cancel it. It's just there always. So I'm always just aware of my wife's birthday. So that's that. I find it hard to follow along instructions or multi-step tasks. And it's the weirdest thing that came when I read that is we ain't got a massive fucking house, man. I've got like all my boys in one fucking bedroom. Anyway, the reason I said that is because we've got the main freezer and fridge, or second fridge, outside in the garage. So when the wife's doing dinner, she'll be like, right, can you go get me stuff out of the garage for dinner? And as soon as she said about 4 to 5 things, anything past that, blur. Can't think of it, can't remember. Like, I'm literally like, well, I'll go get those 5 things, come back, and then you can tell me the rest of what you need, and then I'll go back out again and get the rest. Because at the same time, like, I can't carry it all anyway. So you see, these are things that I've worked around. So it don't seem like an issue. Like, wife reminds me of birthdays, I have to come back in the house twice to like see what else she wants. Like, it's never seemed like a problem. But when it listed these things, I'm like, yeah, I do that. Fidget a lot, tap it, bouncing leg, playing with objects. I do this all the time. Like right now, I'm touching my face. The missus again points this out a lot when I read it too. She's like, you're always doing that. I do this a lot. I put my finger just like this in like a circle around my eye, and I kind of open it like this. I do that a lot. Just having something in my hand just to fidget with. Before even looking into this, I was noticing lately how much when I'm sitting down, I bounce my leg a lot. Doing that. Feeling restless or like I can't relax even when I want to. And I've put like the idea of a relaxing family holiday when people are just like, oh, I'm just going to go sit around on a beach for a week. Honestly, it sounds like torture. Like someone saying that to me, I almost feel claustrophobic at the sound of someone saying that, of just like sitting around. I'm like, I can't just do nothing. Nah. Like, I could have a day on the beach, and I'll make some, like, dig some holes with the kids and, like, playing sand or whatever, but, like, I'll be doing stuff with the kids and playing with them and whatnot. But just lounging, relaxing, I'm like, just hell no. Can't fucking do that. Not shit. And I've put basically, I mentioned that, and I said, that sounds like torture. And I said, I'm always most content when I'm doing something. When I've got something that I feel I'm progressing or working towards, that's when I'm my most relaxed, to be honest. This is a big one. Hyper focus on certain things to a point I forget time or needs. So I've wrote, I always have a current fixation. Currently it's reading sci-fi novels, but in the past it's been games like Warhammer, playing Pokemon cards, calisthenics. Right now all I want to do is read my book, which is making it difficult to care/keep on top of my YouTube channel. I didn't get a podcast done for Monday. And that correlates with the next one where it's like I'm either all in or zero motivation, no in between. So that was the bullet point. And then I've wrote again, if I'm doing something, I'm doing that or I'm not doing it at all. I've worked hard to make myself work on other things a little but regularly, but that is an ongoing thing. So it's weird because now it's like bullet point that I thought about it more. And you might have seen the TikTok where it's this guy going, how does he say it now? I'm off to start a new hobby. I've done hours of research. I'm excited for the new hobby. And then he goes up to the microphone. He's like, I've done hours of research on the new hobby. And he's like, I've spent loads of money on premium products for the new hobby. And he walks up to a microphone. He's like, this is my life, only this hobby. And goes, la. And he goes, that's enough for that. I'm off to find a new hobby. The wife sent me that talk it's probably 2 or 3 years ago now. But that's when I come across the term hyperfixation. Because it was like, that is fucking me. Not to that extreme of like, get everything started and then completely stop. I always do. So yeah, like when I'm always currently in something. So right now it's my books. I mentioned it in the last podcast. I've got it up there. Don't know if you can see. Do I dare move this camera? There. That's it. That's my bookshelf. So from Trunks onwards, the white novels, where it starts with a dark novel, which is Magicians of the Gods. Forgetting his name right now. Yeah, all those other books are there. So they're all the books I've technically read. The other books, past the white ones, I've read How to Wrap the Art and Science of Obscene. I did physically read that. And there's an emotional intelligence one that I read as well. The others, so like Crushing It and Crushing It by Gary V, Dean Stott, Relentless, 12 Rules for Life and 12 More Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, Will Smith's Will, that book. I've got an old Eminem book and Jocko's Discipline Equals Freedom up there. So those are books I listened to on audiobook, and then felt like I should buy the physical book. A bit of a mess over there. Yeah. So yeah, but all the white ones are novels I've read since about November, December last year. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 novels, and I'm on my 8th one. So yeah, right now it's like all I want to do is read my book. And what the last thing I saw that prompted me to like start talking to ChatGPT about ADHD was this couple on TikTok, a woman with always got really bright coloured hair. It's usually blue, and then the partner always talks quite calm and like matter of factly and blah blah. And they always do like little skits together. And this one was something about she had something to do like the next day or whatever. And he's like, "Well, ain't you gonna start?" And she's like, "No, I'm waiting until it's like almost like emergency last minute so that like the pressure's there so then I can do it." And he's like, "That sounds like you set yourself up to fail." And she's like, "No, it's the opposite. This is me setting up to make it work for me because I'll get it fucking done." And he said something along the lines of, I want to find it. Do I? He basically said something along the lines of, most normal people use dopamine to be able to motivate themselves to do stuff, but she's like, at the minute, my dopamine is currently in the new fucking, it's like face mask scrunchy bath routine that she's started. She's like, all my dopamine's in that, which means I've got little to no motivation to want to do fucking anything else. So she has to use adrenaline. So it's getting to the point where it's like, shit, that needs fucking doing before she does it. And yeah, it was a bit like a kick in the teeth because I was like, fuck. Yeah, because I've never seen. See, I'm all over the fucking gaff. Sometimes on ChatGPT, it gives you 2 options and you have to pick which reply you prefer the most. And I was trying to read all the way through it and then select it, but it must have timed out. But I know in the second one, it said, I'll finish going through the 2 other points that it suggested. But from my replies, it said, what you've described is textbook adult ADHD, especially in the inattentive and emotional dysregulation aspects. It doesn't mean you're broken or that your brain is less than. It means your brain runs different on a different operating system. Most of the world is built for Windows, while you're running Linux with a turbocharged engine. And it obviously breaks it all down. But the other reply it gave me was like, yeah, this is textbook adult ADHD, and it says the type that it is typically misdiagnosed or overlooked because it doesn't match the like. I can't remember how it worded it because I did like it. It was like the hyper school kid stereotype. Because that's what I've always thought. I ain't got ADHD because I'm not fucking bouncing off the walls. I'm not fucking nuts. I can't like not focus all the time like completely. So yeah, I'd always kind of dismissed it because of that. But yeah, this last TikTok thing just made me think. And I was just like, yeah, because I have always got like, I've known for a couple of years now that yeah, I've always got a current hyper focus. Now that I know to call it that. So yeah, obviously right now it's reading. It's been playing Pokemon cards or playing the Pokemon card game online. It's been Warhammer. When I was into my calisthenics, like they can last for months. Something Scalextrics has been another one. Let's just look around the room. What else you got? Yeah, so I got my reading. I got Pokemon. It's mainly those ones lately. Lego, buying Lego. Yeah, Pokemon. It was buying the actual decks because I've got all the original decks there, all the original Gen 1 decks. Fucking built them up. But yeah, and then I thought, oh, well, now because I've always like held down a job when I was younger. But I think again, it's weird because I thought about it of like, you know, I can hold down a job. Amazon. Problem with your payment. Fuck off. Sounds dodgy. Because my 2 main trades before like leaving being employed was I was a mechanic. That was like my main trade. I done my apprenticeship and everything, and then I went to UPS and loaded lorries for 2 years. Or was it 3 years? But my mechanics, I done my apprenticeship for 5, and then I did another 2, I think. But at that time, it was like my dad kind of. I was really interested in it. Like I was interested in how things worked, and like my car was my life. Like I'd work on it in the week. I'd go street racing on a weekend. Like cars and engines. I was just fucking all about that shit, man. I was looking at getting like a race license and shit. I used to go out at night, find quiet roads and practice on my own. I'd practice late braking like all the fucking time because that was my thing. I had a little, in the UK, what we call a hot hatch car, and yeah, I used to be able to like stop on a penny and like be on rails round corners and stuff. But when that stopped, and then I went into rapping because I'd always liked music. That stopped because where we used to street race, it was like, it was illegal anyway, and it all got shut down. If you get seen up where we used to do it, your car gets crushed. So it was like, well, I ain't fucking risking that. But like, and so looking back on it, it's like, oh, this is fucking obvious. But at the time, you don't know, you're younger and you're just kind of getting through life and muddling through. And I was like, oh man, I need something else. And yeah, that's when I bought that book up there, How to Rap the Art and Science of MCing. But again, now I'm like, I hyper focused on that. Like I used to read that book, but I'd read 2 pages every night. But I'd read those 2 pages over and over for like 2 hours just to make sure it sunk in. And then that book helps you then extrapolate old rap songs and the syllables and the rhyme schemes. And I've got pages of notebooks full, because I was still a mechanic at the time, and I've got like old emissions printouts from doing MOTs, and on the back it's just loads of lyrics. So it's just this pattern, but like with the job itself, I got made redundant, but by the end of it, I was just fucking bored. I didn't want to be there anymore. Like, it was just shit. I fucking hated it. Same with UPS, man. I did that for a few years, loading the lorries. But even that, like, I liked the team of the guys, and it's like I could load a lorry fucking quick, and I could do like, load quality, load speed, and like miss scans. So I was like, I got to a point where I was a fucking good loader. It was in England, the Midlands branch, and I'd do Camden like with me and one other guy, and it was fucking ridiculous volume we used to do. But either way, like I hyper focused on that. Like I wanted to be a good loader. But then near the end, it was like I couldn't stand being there. You wouldn't, the person I was by the end of each of those jobs, you wouldn't think I was the person when I was in the middle of it. So I kind of left those. And that's the other thing when I talk to people and they've been like the same job for like 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, I'm just like a bit of my heart fucking falls for them because I put that on myself. I'm like, oh, I think I'd have fucking hung myself by now if that was me. And I just deemed that as like, because I got this whole thing since the fucking car crash of like being really aware of life and not wanting to waste it and everything else. But actually that feeling I've got of like not wanting to do the same job for like 30 years, that's been there for as long as I can remember, thinking about it. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that probably lines up with that kind of trait, doesn't it? It's not ideal. And then like just as recent as this morning, so like I say, right now I'm reading my book. I'm reading Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, which is the Stormlight Archive, book number 2. And I'm like, I just want to read my book, man. I just want to read my book. Like, it was hard to make myself come in here and do this fucking podcast. And so at the minute, I'm doing the garden. I'm recording it all, by the way, which I'm struggling to because, again, I don't want to. Like, I ain't got the motivation to record what I'm doing because I just want to read my fucking book. But I'm doing it in the way of like, I'm just banging the camera there, I'm going to time lapse it, and I'm going to talk over it, just explaining what I'm doing in the garden and everything else. So yeah, anyway, I was washing up this morning, and I was like, I want to read my book today. And then I thought about doing the garden, and I'm like, oh, I just don't want to. Again, just there's no go there at all. But then I says to myself, because the bit of the garden I'm doing at the minute, as I've put, we've got a path going down the side of my house, and I've put some railway sleepers standing up on edge, running along the edge. And my garden levels are fucked. So I was like, well, I've put the sleepers there, and then I can raise the garden up to the level of the sleepers, and then actually the lawn down the side of the house should be level, like flat. Because at the minute, not only is it like angled, but it's also like quite rumpy bumpy, like it's not nice. So I've managed to like, and this is where it made me think back of this TikTok video, because what I done to myself was, I was like, well, if I don't get those sleepers done, because today's job is to rip them back out. I've put them in. The missus don't like them. She didn't think they'd be that tall. She thought I was going to dig them into the ground. So spoke last night, and I was like, what if I lay them on the side instead of putting them on the end? She's like, yeah, that's okay, because it's not as tall. I like that. It doesn't seem as restrictive. So now I've got to rip them all back out, clean them all up from the bottoms where I've cemented them into the fucking ground, and then lay them flat on the sides. So thinking about that, and I'm like, oh, I can't be asked, man. I just ain't got any go for it. But then I flipped it in my head and saying like, well, at the minute, until that's done, I can't rake all the dirt out and level it out. And then until I've raked all the dirt out, I can't seed it. And whilst I can't seed it, the grass ain't growing. So there's no progress with that at the minute. So I'm like, fuck, right. Like, I need to get those sleepers done. So then the grass can be fucking growing, right? It's a bit of a lax one, but it was enough to kind of get me to go, okay, I'll do that today. And that made me realise about the rest of the garden, because the wife had ordered a summer house. And that really helped, because where the summer house was going is where my gym was, where I'd used to do all my vlogs. And at the same time, I'd chucked the dog in there and it was using his dog pen. So I needed to get the dog pen built. I needed to get the gym ripped down. I needed to get the area cleared and build a timber base for the summer house to go on. I've cracked on with all that because summer house is ordered. There's a date it's coming. There's a fucking deadline, and it was getting closer. I'm like, I need to fucking do that. And it's just that feeling I always get of when I am doing something, I'm like, this needs fucking doing. And that's how I've managed to kind of get stuff done. When I look back on it, I'm like, fuck, yeah, I've always done that. Because there's a lot of stuff in the garden that, for the YouTube channel, where I've missed it and not recorded it, because I'll do it on the weekends when like the kids are here and I'm just doing it in between stuff, because I'm not relaxed about it. But it's not my hyper focus either. It's just the thing that I'm trying to tell myself that needs fucking doing. So then I'm trying to push myself to do it. So then I end up doing it when like the kids are around and stuff. So I don't get my camera out when the kids are all running around, because it's too sporadic. I'll get a bit done and then I have to break the kids up or give them something else to play or play with them, sort of thing. So it's all very like in between the kids on like a weekend and stuff. What was the last 2 points? I struggle to plan or stick to routines without getting distracted. And I'd put my habit tracker, I fell off again. I've never had a solid routine that I've stuck to for anything, a couple of weeks max. And then I'm like, yep, I've never had a solid routine. And I almost can't. Like when I picture it, I'm like, I don't fit into having the same thing every day. Like regimented, like solid routine with stuff. Like especially YouTube, man, that's like perfect. Like you want that, because then you can like plan time, schedule like recording videos, editing this, that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I've just never been able to. And yeah, just putting that, that's what I mean. I read through the bullet points and I've read it. I'm like, fuck, yeah. Every time I try to, like routines, man, they just always fall apart. Like that habit tracker, I'd done it for like a month and then I didn't. And then I started, done it for a week and then I haven't again. Same with exercising. That's why I think I pushed so much to have like my garden gym, because it was like, right, I ain't got to have the routine to try and go out to a gym and blah, 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 even though I've joined one now. It was like, I can try and in the moments be like, right, okay, yeah, go out and get some workouts done. And and it said I can go from 0 to 100 emotionally, especially with frustration or feeling overwhelmed. And I just said about when I was reading the reply and I just fucking started bawling. Oh, another thing. Where was that? It said like you can be like a superhero with like, if there's like a big problem or a big issue, you're like the calmest thing in the world, which I am. Even when we had the car crash, when we ran off the road at like fucking 70 miles an hour and the car flipped and hit a fucking tree, and it's been like giving me and my wife PTSD and it's had a big impact on our life, fucking everything else, la da 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 da. On the day, I remember like when the car was rolling, I remember thinking, wait until the car stopped moving. Like I was that fucking just calm and just clear minded. I was like, I remember saying to myself, as the car was fucking rolling, you can imagine the speed and the fucking crashes and bang sort of thing, like 70 mile an hour fucking rolling down the ditch, smacking a tree. So we rolled down the ditch, hit a tree. I think the car spun as it rolled again. From the steering wheel forward, there was nothing left of the car. It was a fucking wreck. I have done a whole podcast on the crash, and I think I put some pictures up. But yeah, I remember that and thinking, you could just picture me rolling upside down in this fucking car going, just wait until the car stops. You can't do anything until the car stopped. Like, I can't try and set the kids or the wife or see, like, how everyone is. So yeah, it's like, it's said about, in situations, like, severe situations, like, you're really calm and great. But in simple ones, like, you're terrible. And I'm like, yeah. Like, if like my phone don't work, or like something I think should be simple and it ain't, oh man, I see red. Like, I get so fucking wound up, so stressed, so annoyed. Like, because my head's just going, this should be fucking easy, and why isn't it? And I'm just like, yeah, completely the fucking opposite. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah, that's me as well. Where was that last thing? Just give me 2 seconds. Engine. Oh, where did it stay? Toolkit. You're not making this up. You've built workarounds. You've succeeded in so many ways in spite of this operating system, and that's admirable as hell. But you're probably also tired of wondering why you're inconsistent, hard on yourself, and fighting an invisible current. This is how you are, but that doesn't mean a diagnosis is just a label. It can be a key. But yeah, that fucking, I had a bit of a ball when I first read that. Tried saying it to my wife as well, because it was just like, man, Frey, for as long as I can think, man, I've just thought, man, I'm a bit of a cunt. Like, how can people just have such simple lives? And like, they don't always seem happy. Like, they'll whinge about the fucking job and everything else, and maybe the partner, and then they'll just fucking carry on with it. And yeah, I have always kind of felt a bit like, well, why don't I feel like everyone else? Like, when I talk to people and stuff, I'm just like, I don't match that. And yeah, I've always just kind of gone, oh, you're just a bit of a cunt in your eye. And at the so the thought I then have is like, I'm not. Like, I've got this thing, and that's why. But then I hate, at the same time, I hate that, because I don't want to be like it's an excuse or something. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm a bit of a cunt. I've got ADHD. Like, I don't want to feel like it's a get out. But at the same time, like, I'm not actually doing anything wrong to anyone else with this thing. So I'm not actually going like, oh, I can't do that. Sorry, I've got ADHD. You know what I mean? I'm not being a dick about it. It pretty much just affects me and like my wife and kids. But it just makes it a bit. And I asked my wife about it. That's because we were talking about it, and asked how she felt. And even she was like, oh, she's like, it does make me feel more understanding. Like, when I've been a bit impatient with you with like certain things you do, she's like, I understand it now. Like, it makes sense, and like it doesn't bother me now when I think about you doing those things, because I know you can't help it. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then yeah, like now, like after that, I'm like, I weren't hard on myself then for missing the podcast last week. Because I was like, I can't fucking help it. Like, I try my fucking best in between everything. Like, you know, I'm trying to juggle parenting the 3 boys. Like, the missy's still going through her therapy and whatnot, which is fucking great. So you know, I got a lot going on and everything. Whew. I might round this off. I might cheat and do the next 1 or 2 podcasts now while I'm thinking about it and it's fresh in my head, because I know after this it's kids break up from school tomorrow, then it's the weekend, then they're off all week. So yeah, might pay me to, because it's nice, again, from the last one, I can title this as exactly what it is. Finishing with this, a little bit of me is like, I don't want to start saying, oh, I've got ADHD, because I feel like when people go, oh, did you get diagnosed? And I'm like, no, I ain't got, I'll just chat GBT. Because I know that there's still a stigma with ChatGPT and AI, and it'd be like, oh, have you ever watched Scrubs? Like, I love Scrubs, and it was interesting actually. It's an old episode, and I'll try and be polite. It's a large girl, right? She's the patient, and it's Dr. Kelso and his. I can't remember. There's something in the episode where it's like, I can still be a fucking like hands-on doctor. So Dr. Kelso's there, and the girl's got the phone, and she's just like, beep, 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 and she's like, oh, I need this medication, and I've got to do this, and blah blah. And he's like, I've got so many years experience. She's like, well, why do I need you? I've got my phone. And that was then. Like, AI weren't a thing then. I know it's just a sitcom show, but still. So now, yeah, I'm kind of like in this weird thing where I'd like to be able to say to people and even put it like on my social media of just like my content stuff of like, yeah, I've got ADHD. But I feel a bit of a cunt to say it without a proper diagnosis from a doctor because it just feels like it's meant to be more credible. But I'm only doing that for the sake of outside opinion. So then I come back and I'm like, why do I give a fuck about outside opinion? Because my own opinion, I think ChatGPT is great and it makes fucking sense because it's the equivalent of me sitting there and reading and looking up fuckloads of information on the internet and everything else. Like, I just picture ChatGPT just being like this fucking bucket, right? And you get all this information, like whether it's books, what would you call it? Like research papers, things like, just information, right? Just fucking it all in this bucket and then talking to the bucket because it's got it all, like, and you haven't had to read it all yourself or research it yourself and everything else. So I'm like, and I think the fact that, like I say, when it gave me them bullet points, because some of them I read, I'm like, that ain't me. That's not me at all. I don't do that. And then, because it weren't that many I picked, I was half expecting it to come back to me and be like, oh yeah, you've got mild like ADHD tendencies, maybe. You know what I mean? Like a thing. But it was just like, yeah, that's textbook fucking adult ADHD. Yeah, you got that shit, man. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So yeah, now I'm in this place where I'm like, I feel like I want to get a diagnosis for like the legitimacy of it. I don't know. And at the same time, like, I don't want to waste the doctor's time with it because I'm like, the fuck they're gonna do? Like, I don't want medication. I don't want, like, at the same time, I'm happy-ish / content with how I am, and I do understand now more. Like, it'd be nice to have, if I have a label from a doctor, then I'd feel more comfortable like joining some Facebook groups that are ADHD people or something and talk to them because I wouldn't feel like I'm pretending or that I'm like, oh, it's just my chat, because it's just this stigma with ChatGPT. I'm like, oh, the internet told me I've got it, because it feels like you're saying that, doesn't it? I'll be interested if anyone's watched this podcast and you've heard I've spoke, the things I've said. I'd like to know your opinion. If you're like, yeah, mate, you got that shit. I mean, I'm sure there's some close friends that be like, right, we knew for years, mate. You just fucking, you're in denial. We fucking knew already. So, yeah, I'm kind of like, do I go get? I feel like I should. Yeah. Thanks for watching. So this has been Ryan's podcast. Thanks for listening. If you relate to any of this, drop a comment. Any thoughts? Drop a comment. If you like my style of content, check out the channel. My channel makes more sense now. I might have to put it in the title that no. I'll wait for the doc diagnosis because then I'll feel comfortable putting the title of my channel in the bio of like got ADHD, because then the content might make more sense of why it's a bit everywhere. Because yeah, I tend to do vlog style for most of my content, whether it's workouts, whether it's hobby content, whether it's gaming. Yeah, mainly because again, man, pennies just keep dropping because I'm like, this is why like I struggle with YouTube, and I do like vlog style content because every now and then I might do like a bit more of a video, but that's because suddenly I might be hyper focused about that content for that video, and I might want to put more effort then because I'm hyper focused on it specifically. But while I'm not, I do almost begrudgingly make my content. It's weird, but I do want to do it because this is the thing. Like, it helps because like I've got my Warhammer in the house that I've been painting. I'll walk past that and I'll be like, man, I need to paint my Warhammer. But now I'm like, it's okay. That's not my focus at the minute. I've got to ride the wave while it's here with my reading, and then when I fall off my reading, it'll be the next thing, and it might be my painting Warhammer, and then I'll just have a couple of weeks of just fucking painting. So yeah, and this is the thing that they say, like I say, they're on about like chasing the dopamine. I'm like, I get it. Yeah. That's what, yeah, that's what I need to do. And it's like, I think the way I went to my wife, because obviously I was fucking bawling, crying. She was like, "You like what, this is?" She's like, "This is a good thing. That's not a sad thing." I'm not sad. I weren't crying because I was sad. Like the feeling I had for when I started fucking crying was this feeling of like, the best word I could think of is like recognition. Because I've always felt so guilty. I've always felt so guilty about whatever I'm hyper focused on, because it's so overbearing, like over everything, because that is literally all I want to fucking do. But then I feel guilty about the old hyper focused things that I'm then not doing anymore, or at that time. Like I used to fucking love doing that. I'm not fucking doing it anymore. And at the same time, obviously guilty about the impact it has on my family. So I think that's why when I was reading it all, it was like some fucking old wise man just putting his hand on my shoulder and going like, "It's not your fault." What's that in Good Will Hunting? He does that to him, Denny, in Good Will Hunting. He's like, "It's not your fault." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I know." And he's like, "It's not your fault." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, I know." And he's like, "No, it's not your fault." And he's like, "Don't this fucking do this to me, man. Not you, don't do this to me." And he's like, "It's not your fault." And then he's like, "Whoa!" And then he just fucking breaks down, fucking crying, Denny, hugging him. And I want to watch that film now. I want to watch Good Will Hunting. Yeah, yeah. Right, I am going to end it there. If I'm in this same t-shirt in the next episode, it's because I've just recorded it straight after this one. Which is okay, isn't it? That's content creators do that. I'm just not doing the sneaky thing by going, "Oh, I've got a different t-shirt on. We're suddenly a week ahead. Like this is a different day and time." Like, man, I ain't lying to you. Fuck it. It's what it is. Right, I'm gonna end it there, and I'll either see you in next week's episode in the same t-shirt within the next 15 minutes, or I'll be in a different t-shirt because it will be a week after. In which case, I've probably missed a week because it's been the kids' half term. Love you all. Signing off. I'll see you in the next one.